Hello and welcome to Ideagen TV, powered by Azure and presented globally by Microsoft. Today we are thrilled to welcome to this year's Ideagen 17 Days of Sustainability, Annette Franqui, Chair of AARP Board of Directors. Annette, welcome.
Thank you, Ideagen, for this opportunity to speak about gender equality. I also appreciate the platform Ideagen provided for me to share some thoughts on empowering women and girls as part of the UN NASDAQ Summit on the International Day of the Girl, October 11th. UN Sustainable Development Goal number 5 focuses our attention on a critically important subject, gender equality and empowering women and girls. We only have to look at recent developments in Afghanistan to remind us of what is at stake and how vital it is to advance toward and never retreat from this goal. Here in the United States, for all the progress we have made, especially in the past half century, we still have many challenges ahead of us to reach gender equality. The gender pay gap is a compelling example. The Pew Research Center reports that in 2020, women made on average 84 cents for every dollar men made. It would take an additional 42 days of work a year for women to be paid what men were. Pew notes that women as a whole continue to be overrepresented in lower paying occupations relative to their share of the workforce. For example, women make up only 28% of the STEM workforce, and STEM workers earn 2/3 more than those employed in other fields. Women lose out, everyone loses out when girls and women are steered away or discouraged from entering STEM fields. Turning talented people, women or men, away from those productive jobs hurts us. Discrimination depresses women's earnings, and in a 2017 Pew survey, almost twice as many women as men reported that they had experienced gender discrimination at work. Women take off far more time than men after birth or adoption of a child, and women are much more likely to be family caregivers. According to the Institute for Women's Policy Research, 43% of women workers had at least 1 year with no earnings, twice as high as the rate for men. Lower pay and fewer working years translate into less money in retirement. Women receive less Social Security and pensions. Women have also paid a higher toll for the pandemic. They are overrepresented in fields that have experienced a disproportionate share of layoffs, and they have had to assume more childcare responsibilities. I'll give one more statistic to show the scope of the challenges ahead. Crunchbase found that in 2020, the amount of VC funding that went to women-led startups fell from 2.8% in 2019, which sadly was the all-time high, to 2.3%. It's been reported that women make up only about 12% of the decision makers at VC firms. And here's a story that can speak louder than statistics. The New York Times recently reported that when one young woman who is CEO of a science-based startup sought VC funding, she was quizzed on how she differed from Elizabeth Holmes, the Theranos founder on trial for conspiracy and fraud, even though this young woman's product served a very different purpose than what Theranos had offered. It is difficult to imagine a young man promoting his startup being grilled on how he was or wasn't like another man accused of conspiracy and fraud. Will we ever get beyond the stop signs and stereotypes that confront women? I actually believe we will. We can and we must build on the undeniable progress of the past 50 years. The picture I have described, the statistics I have given, are not static. Most of them are changing for the better over time. They just need to change faster. One element of the progress we have seen is putting more women into positions of power. This is more than a question of role models, important as that may be. Women in positions of power are well positioned to promote gender equality. The more we all start seeing it as unremarkable that women are top officials and scientists and CEOs of startups, the faster change will come. I am very proud that at AARP, where I serve as board chair, our CEO is a woman, as are most of the members of our executive team and our board of directors. We can speed change when we provide girls and women with role models and mentoring. This is something I am passionate about as a financial services professional, a field where sadly women are still underrepresented. We can speed change when we insist, as AARP does, on the fundamental right of all people to be free from discrimination. We strongly advocate for an end to workplace discrimination in all aspects of employment, including hiring, compensation, promotion, termination, and training. Workers should be protected regardless of age, sex, race, ethnicity, disability, sexual orientation, religion, national origin, or family caregiver status. I believe the sustained focus that AARP and others have placed on family caregivers will help many millions of women and men around the country who are carrying out these responsibilities. We can speed change when we take some of the financial pressure off caregivers, as AARP is working to do. AARP is working hard to pass the Credit for Caregiving Act, which would provide $5,000 for eligible working family caregivers. While millions of men are family caregivers, a substantial majority of family caregivers are women. AARP is also strongly supporting a national paid leave policy. These are vital proposals Congress can pass and the President can sign into law this year. We can speed change when we pay attention to the struggles and needs of lower paid workers, most of whom are women. The pandemic has brought greater focus to the circumstances these workers face. We need to maintain that focus even when COVID-19 is brought under control. When it comes to gender equality, we still have quite a ways to go, but we're seeing positive change from many directions. We need to remember, as Ruth Bader Ginsburg said, real change, enduring change, happens one step at a time. We need to keep that in mind, and we just have to quicken the pace. Thank you very much for listening.